Have you ever looked at the glittering towers of a city skyline, wondered about the hunger that built them? A single ornate gold coin glinting in the dark. Well, we live in a world driven by acquisition, a constant striving for more. More wealth, more influence, more security. It is a very human impulse, this desire to gather and protect our treasures. Yet, within this modern ambition lies the shadow of an ancient story, a tale whispered by Norse skalds around crackling fires. It is the story of a dragon, not born of magic or primordial chaos, but forged in the heart of a man. Fafnir, coiled around a mound of gold, serves as a powerful, timeless metaphor for a danger we still face today. The monstrous transformation that can occur when simple want curdles into all-consuming greed. The story begins not with a dragon, but with a family and a terrible mistake. Hreidmar was a king, a man of considerable standing, and he had 3 sons who embodied different aspects of his own nature. There was Regan, the master craftsman, whose skill with metal was unparalleled, and whose mind was as sharp as the swords he forged. There was Otter, a shapeshifter who delighted in the form of an otter, spending his days by the river. And then there was Fafnir, the strongest and most avaricious of the 3, his heart already possessing a deep and formidable capacity for greed. They lived in a world where the paths of gods and mortals often crossed, an intersection that would soon bring ruin to their door. One fateful day, 3 of the most powerful Norse gods, Odin, the Allfather, the clever and unpredictable Loki, and the quiet Hörnir, were traveling through the mortal realm. Near a waterfall, Loki, ever the agent of impulse and chaos, spotted an otter feasting on a salmon. With a casual and thoughtless act of cruelty, he picked up a stone and killed the creature, proud of his aim. The gods skinned the otter, planning to take its fine pelt with them. Little did they know, the otter was Hreidmar's son, Otr, in his animal form. Their journey soon led them to King Hreidmar's hall, where they proudly displayed the pelt, seeking lodging for the night. The sight of his son's skin sent Hreidmar into a rage. He and his remaining sons, Fafnir and Regan, seized the gods, binding them and demanding a steep price for the life they had taken. The vergild, or blood payment they demanded, was immense. The gods must fill Otter's skin with gold, and then cover it completely with more gold, leaving not a single hair visible. With the gods released and the cursed treasure now in his possession, King Hreidmar believed he had won. He stared at the glittering mountain of gold, a monument to his grief and his victory, unaware that Andvari's curse had already begun to poison the air in his hall. The gold did not bring solace for his lost son. Instead, it ignited a new and dangerous fire in the hearts of his living ones. Fafnir and Regan looked upon the hoard not as a payment for their brother's life, but as an inheritance to be claimed. They approached their father and demanded their share of the immense wealth. Hreidmar, consumed by possessiveness, refused to part with a single coin. The arguments grew more frequent and more venomous. The family that had once stood united against the gods now turned on itself. Fafnir felt the curse whispering most loudly in his ear. He saw his father as a grieving king, then as an obstacle. He saw his brother as a partner, then as a rival. The lust for the gold overwhelmed every bond and every shred of honor. In a dark, final confrontation, Fafnir murdered his father to claim the hoard. After the patricide, Fafnir turned to Regan and denied him any portion of the treasure. While Fafnir slumbered on his cursed hoard, slowly forgetting the man he once was, his brother Regan was consumed by a different kind of poison, the slow burn of resentment, the thirst for revenge. Having been cheated of his inheritance, Regan fled his homeland, found work as a smith in the court of another king. But he never forgot the gold, nor the brother who had betrayed him. He knew he lacked the strength and courage to face the monstrous Fafnir himself. So, with the patience of a master craftsman shaping metal, he began to forge a living weapon. He needed a hero, someone young, brave, malleable enough to be pointed toward the dragon like an arrow from a bow. That hero came in the form of Sigurd, a young man of noble but uncertain lineage who was sent to be fostered by Regan. Sigurd was extraordinary, immense strength, a fearless heart, a destiny that seemed to shine about him. Regan saw in the boy the perfect instrument for his vengeance. Guided by Regan's counsel, Sigurd journeyed to Gnitaheide, the blighted lair of Fafnir. The air was thick with a foul, venomous vapour, the ground scarred with tracks of the great worm. Regan, the cunning strategist, advised Sigurd on how to slay the beast. Find the path the dragon took to a stream to drink water. Dig a pit, hide within it, wait for the dragon to crawl overhead. Strike upwards into the soft, unprotected underbelly. Bypass the dragon's impenetrable scales. As Sigurd dug, an old one-eyed man appeared, Odin in disguise. The old man offered advice, warned a single pit would become a death trap, filling with hot, venomous blood. Dig several trenches leading away from the main pit, so the gushing blood could drain, so Sigurd could survive. Sigurd accepted the wisdom and altered Regan's plan. With trenches dug and his hiding place ready, Sigurd concealed himself in the central pit, clutching the sword Gram. With the monstrous Fafnir finally slain, Sigurd climbed out of the pit covered in dirt but unharmed. As the dragon lay dying, it spoke to his killer, asking his name, warning of the cursed gold. Shortly after Regan emerged from hiding nearby, he approached not with joy, but with a greedy, triumphant gleam. He looked at his dead brother, then at the path to the horde. He praised Sigurd, his words hollow and masking intent. Regan made a strange, specific request. Cut out the dragon's heart. Roast the heart for me. He claimed eating it would grant knowledge and power. Sigurd, loyal to his mentor and foster father, agreed. He built a fire and began to cook the massive heart on a spit. As it roasted, hot juices and blood bubbled up. To test it, Sigurd touched the heart with his finger, then put his searing finger into his mouth. After slaying the dragon and the traitor, Sigurd was truly alone. He followed the bird's advice, ate a part of Fafnir's heart, and kept the rest. He went to Fafnir's lair, loaded the cursed treasure onto his horse, Grani, including the fateful ring of Andvari. He had become the master of the horde, a celebrated hero who had rid the world of a terrible monster. Yet, the warnings of the dying dragon and the curse of the dwarf lingered over the glittering gold. The story of Fafnir endures because its theme is still relevant today. The myth is an allegory for unchecked ambition and materialism dehumanizing a person. Think of a modern-day corporate titan crushing competitors, exploiting labor-bending ethical rules. They amass incredible wealth living in fortified mansions, isolated from the world.